Today is a 48 First Alert Weather Day. Sponsored by Mr. Rooter Plumbing for all your emergency plumbing services.
Well, hey, good afternoon. A little after 3 o'clock. We're just going to track storms for you here during this fast cast. Do it for about 15 minutes or so. The storm on the east side of Athens moving into East Limestone is producing a lot of lightning, and it does look like it's getting stronger and maybe producing some damaging winds along the way as it moves very close to the Harvest Monrovia area. So again, this is getting very close to Creekside Elementary out here. And again, I mentioned some of you would be waiting in line to pick your kids up for school with these big thunderstorms going on. This storm could get a severe thunderstorm warning pretty soon, the way it looks right now. So let's get down in here a little bit closer. You've got the county line from Capshaw just to on the west side of Harvest here, and it's this area we've got a lot of lightning going on. I want to take a look at the winds. I'm going to turn this lightning off, in fact. And as you take a look at without the lightning, what you're looking at is some strong gusty winds approaching Capshaw on the west side. So let's go ahead and kind of sample this. It's probably going to be close to close to 50 miles per hour. So I think we're getting on the cusp here out towards Capshaw, Harvest, and Monrovia of seeing some potential damaging winds with this storm. Again, this is going to be approaching Endeavor Elementary now there along Railroad Bed Road. It's at French Mill now, which is where our old Doppler radar site is. We've got a camera there, but you really can't see anything there because it is raining so hard. I'll put on the storm relative velocity just to get another view here. We don't have any significant rotation, but this is a fairly significant thunderstorm here. And again, I believe it's capable of producing isolated damaging winds. And it's actually taken the power out to our camera over here in Athens off Highway 72 right there at Highway 72 and I-65. So that was a lightning strike, I do believe. Look at all the lightning here, and this is moving right into the Harvest Monrovia area. Again, I've got Magnolia Springs on here. Going to be real close to that gas station there at Capshaw. You've got the Good Shepherd United Methodist Church there across from the Shell gas station. I think that's where most of this lightning is. You get just out to the west, and you've got the intersection out here at East Limestone. You got Firewood, Alabama out here. You got Pro-Align, where they got all those fancy cars out there working on those. They work on all sorts of cars. But again, that's pretty much where the beginning of this area has a lot of wind. I was looking at this on the camera earlier, and what we're seeing is a fairly decent gust front moving east rather quickly out of this. Probably winds at 30 miles per hour, but the most intense wind is happening right here on the back edge where all this lightning is too. So I want to go back and take another look at the velocity, make sure we're not missing anything because there's just a little bit of shear. And the model guidance was kind of increasing the threat here for a little bit more wind shear as of 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That was the model guidance we looked at yesterday. So overall, not seeing any signs of a tornado, but we've got a lot of wind in this storm. We're probably looking at some isolated damaging wind gusts right now. Moving into East Limestone, out towards Harvest, again along Old Railroad Bed Road, and this is going to continue to move to the east. So let me go ahead and put a storm track on this for you. As we take a look at the radar, going to let this loop just one more time here. Moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So and this is also producing very heavy rain. So from Ardmore down to Capshaw, just to the east of Tanner, that's going to be right there by the Buc-ee's. This is moving pretty much east and northeast. We'll put it at 33 miles per hour. So I'm going to put a few towns here. You got Capshaw. It's pretty much moving into Capshaw right now. Harvest, pretty much on the west side of Harvest. The Burger Gin area, 311. You got Cliff Farm right across from Huntsville Hospital in Madison. So the Madison Hospital is going to be there around 313. Sparkman High School 314. Mid-City 327. Meridianville 329. Hazel Green 329 as well. Meadow Hills, Bridge Street around 330. And then again on the west side of Huntsville, this will probably start hitting around 315, 330. Again, Huntsville's really sprawled out, so I can't really pinpoint exactly Huntsville. So we kind of got to go to other areas. You get up towards Newmarket around 3:45, so about 40 minutes from now. But again, that's the storm track for high winds, very heavy rain. Now let's take a look at the potential for hail in this particular storm here. And I'm going to get to the other thunderstorms that are out there, but as you can see, this is the strongest one. by far. So this is the strongest storm we've had so far today, and I think we probably have some pea-sized hail in this. I'm going to go ahead and put the lightning back on. We're going to take a look at the reflectivity. Again, in case you're tuning in, this is our fast cast. We usually do at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but since today's a first alert weather day and it's all about the weather, we've got some active storms out there. Figure we just cover your weather coming up at 4, of course. We're going to have the rest of your news. Take a look here. And again, no reports here coming in from the Weather Service with this. I'm going to check my Facebook page too. Take a quick drink of water. Sometimes I get pictures and stuff that I don't see because I'm on the air. But again, a lot of lightning with this storm. Looks like it's the worst part of that lightning is going to end up very close to Capshaw. It's right on Old Railroad Bed Road now. It's going to move right through and probably just north of Legacy Elementary, Pine Grove Baptist Church, right down Pine Grove Road there. Nothing on that email. Let me check one more thing here. Again, if you got any reports, let us know. Oh, you can let us know in the comments too. Taking rain and wind is crazy there in East Limestone. Maria mentioning that. But again, it's going to get worse there in East Limestone because that lightning has really been intensifying here just in the last few minutes. I'll go ahead and share this on my page as well. Other page, get a little bit more information out there. If anybody's got any reports there, again, we're probably going to get some power outages due to lightning from this particular thunderstorm. That's something we definitely want to watch. Let me go ahead and share this on my other page too. So since we've been on here, since just in the last 6 minutes, we've noticed definitely an increase in the lightning with that. We're probably going to have a little more wind too. I'll take a look at that in just a second, but I do want to share. That's my keyboard, by the way. Okay, I'll share that there as well. So far, just a lot of wind and lightning coming with this and very heavy rain. Some of these areas that this is about to cross over have seen significant rain in the last 24 hours. You've had rain most of the day today, about, I would say, 1 to 2 inches of rain. Some of these areas had 3 to 5 inches of rain yesterday. So flooding is also a big concern here. Last sip of water. Now let's talk about the rest of the storms out there, and I will get back into that area as it tracks into Harvest and Monrovia. Out west in Florence, Waynesboro down to Russellville, not a lot going on with that. We got another area developing south of Arab, moving east. This is going to impact Albertville and areas in and around Boaz. But by far, the most intense weather is happening in East Limestone, and that's going to track right on the north side of Harvest and Monrovia. It's moving towards Meridianville and Hazel Green. So just a heads up. Again, no severe weather reports so far, but a lot of people that live in these communities may not be home. They may be at work, so we may have delayed reports. We're probably having power outages because I mentioned earlier our camera in Athens lost power as the storm moved through. And it is moving right immediately through where our cameras are there in French Mill. So I can actually go ahead and show you that here in just a second. In fact, I'll go ahead and forward this and we'll get a couple of camera views here for you. So what we've got, as I kind of move this forward, here's Decatur. Nothing really going on here. That storm kind of moved on the north side of Decatur. But here's our East Limestone view. And you can just see very heavy rain falling in East Limestone. And the wind is not too bad in this location. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and go off camera here, and I'm going to move this camera around a little bit so we can get a better view of that area, see if we've had any wind damage. And again, our Athens camera still out. Actually, that's the one looking east. I'm looking that's looking west. I'm looking east on the other camera. Not really any better view there with that. Marginal risk for severe weather continues. So again, I'll take you back. I'll get back on the key wall with this, the radar perspective. the lightning just continues to intensify as this moves into Harvest and Monrovia. You get over here towards Newmarket. This is just very heavy rain that continues to fall as this moves east, northeast. I'll take a look at velocity real quick. Gotta turn the lightning. Yeah, we're probably going to get severe wind here. This is moving into Magnolia Springs subdivision along Capshaw Road. You got Pepper Road, Capshaw Road, and Pepper Road, and to the north there, you get Nick Davis Road even farther north, Sanderson Road, and then you've got Magnolia Springs subdivision. Endeavor Elementary is right in here, and I think we're probably looking at 50-mile-an-hour winds. Right there, yeah. It's right at 50. The key is it's increasing. So we're gonna have a lot of wind now, move into Magnolia Springs. Then you get Sam Thomas Road, you get over here to Wall Triana, where you got the neighborhood Walmart, you got the Publix across the street from there. So we're gonna continue to watch that, and eventually this area may track close to Douglas Road and Sparkman High School. Latest wind velocity down just a little bit with that last scan, but again, I think we're going to see some isolated damaging winds, probably tree damage and maybe some fence damage, things like that with that storm. Let's see, they're watching the storm near New Hope. Excuse my sniffle there. With a little bit of rotation. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, it does. It's gone though. Well, it's still there a little bit. See that area down there? See what that looks like. Yeah, that's a little bitty one though. Storm relevant. Yeah, that does have rotation there too. So let's take a look at this storm here. There's actually two of them. One east of Owens Crossroads. That New Hope storm actually was spinning a little bit more farther to the west-southwest. Again, there's just a little bit of wind shear out there for these storms. Let's put a storm track on this one here. This is moving northeast at about 25, 26 miles an hour. Okay, yep. So that's moving towards Woodville and probably close to the Paint Rock Valley, especially the southern side of the Paint Rock Valley there. Again, the Paint Rock Valley basically is right here as you make that turn from Gurley to go to Woodville. There's another storm on the west side there too. So we've got two of these thunderstorms. One that's just on the east-southeast side of Hampton Cove, the other one near New Hope. Both of those are tracking east-northeast. So we'll have to keep an eye on that right there. All right. Wait a minute. All right. So lightning continues to intensify as this storm here crosses into Madison County. Two other little thunderstorms we'll have to keep an eye on down there. They're going to be east of 431 now. So if you know someone who's on the road there, they're just those two little cells that show just a little bit of rotation. And it's kind of off and on. There's probably a little bit of interaction with the mountains in that area too. Let's see if there's anything on the debris signature. Yeah. Let me go back here. I'm going to pull this back and check that right there. Again, this was around just before 3 o'clock. Yeah, nothing really correlates with the velocity data there. Again, debris, yeah, it's close. But yeah, it's really not connected with the storm there, so I don't think we can call that an actual debris signature. So again, we're not really calling for tornadoes today, but you know, every now and then Mother Nature kind of does a little spin up on us every now and then. By far, the most significant storm is going to be this one over here near Harvest. Boy, just a lot of lightning there. Let me turn the lightning off. There's no spinning here. We're probably looking at 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts just coming through with very intense lightning. So I'm going to get back over on the key wall here in just a sec. More water. I'm glad Liz brought me some water. Okay, so we're going to probably get some power outages here in East Limestone. And I think the worst part of this storm here, looks like hand tracking quit working, so I gotta go restart that. Or maybe I'll grab another remote. Okay, so could get power outages due to lightning, could have homes struck by lightning, those kind of things. That's the biggest danger right now from this area here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart my hand tracking here because it stopped. So, in fact, we're only gonna be on for another 5 minutes or so. So what I'll do here is I will go ahead and just do this from over here. I haven't test drove our hand tracking for a while. Let me do something else here real quick. I'm going to check other messages here. Again, so far no reports of any damage from any of these storms, but I think by far we're seeing lightning be the greatest threat, that and the potential for some flash flooding with these storms. That's all tracking east again. We've had a few, I think there's been some Facebook posts about possible spin up southwest of Athens earlier, but I don't see, the data doesn't really support that. If anything, it may have been. Okay. I'm going to try to go in here and restart at least the hand tracking product. Well, a lot of lightning in Harvest, Monrovia. Seeing that lightning. A lot of this is now tracking just to the north of the Magnolia Springs subdivision, moving up towards Sparkman High School, Tony, really right in the heart of Harvest. As I get in closer, right along Old Railroad Bed Road, Wall Triana, and you got Nick Davis Road. So basically Nick Davis Road, Old Railroad Bed Road to the north, moving out towards Sparkman High School. A lot of lightning with that. Take the lightning off again. And we had that brief downburst of wind out towards Capshaw, and that was kind of it. It's not really showing any more gusty wind there. Let me get an update on these areas over here near New Hope. Still some rotation going on there. So again, we've got, almost looks like a little mini supercell down here, northeast of New Hope. It's going to be right along, moving towards Nebo Road. Restarting my hand tracker server. Shear rate, I mean, it keeps kind of going back and forth, so we probably might even have a wall cloud with this. I wouldn't be surprised with that. Haven't seen any reports yet. There's no, is there a tornado warning out? Yeah, they just issued a tornado warning. Yeah, let's go on air now, yeah. They just put that tornado warning out, probably for that area near New Hope. Okay, gotcha. Just take what we got now. I'm working on the hand tracking.
3, 2, 1,
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. We have a tornado warning now issued, and that tornado warning is coming out Looks like it's just about to come out. It's until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Some rotation being detected. This is in the Woodville area, and it's moving towards Grant. So again, the tornado warning for north central Marshall County, southwestern Jackson County, and southeastern Madison County for these storms coming out of the area. It's going to be these areas just down here. Let me circle these. They're not showing up here on the, these storms here just south of Gurley and Woodville. Two little thunderstorms. The strongest storm, by the way, is over Harvest and Monrovia. We continue to watch these two very small thunderstorms here. Let me double check, make sure they get that warning out correctly. Just because it's not showing up on our software, and that's not on this one either. There it is right there. So we've got a tornado warning for the Woodville storm. This storm right here, it's tracking northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So again, if you're in Woodville, you need to be seeking shelter for a possible tornado with this thunderstorm. It includes Limrock and Larkinsville as well. So there's our tornado warned storm. Woodville, Aspel, over to Scottsboro for the possibility of a tornado that's developing, may develop with that storm. Again, the rotation kind of comes and goes. Take a look at debris signature. Not seeing that right now. So I don't think we've had a tornado touch down with this storm. But I show you this shear track here. You can kind of see what's been going on with this New Hope storm. Crossed 431, continues to move off to the northeast towards Woodville. Let me get one more thing going here. And again, I got to restart our hand tracking software because it stopped as we were doing our fast cast here. So let me reconnect to see if that starts working. All right, looks like we're going to be without that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here, I'm going to just go up to the key wall and let you know what's going on with these storms. So again, we got a tornado warning. You need to be seeking shelter here. It's northeast of New Hope, moving towards Woodville. It's this storm right here. There's no lightning with this storm, so it's almost like when we have tropical storms and you just get a quick spin up, and I think that's what we're watching for with this particular storm. I've got it expanding out. Skyline, you're probably not directly going to be impacted by this. It's going to be closer to, say, Scottsboro, just off to the west here of Hollywood. We continue to watch intense lightning here with the storm, but the wind capability with the storm on the north side of Harvest and Monrovia moving towards Hazel Green, that has weakened somewhat. But again, our storm that we've got the tornado warning for is near northeast of New Hope. It's going to be in very hilly terrain. You're probably going to get a good view of this, though, from the south side. Again, mainly looking at what we would call a spin up, probably a EF0 type tornado with winds maybe 80 miles per hour. So again, that's what I'm seeing here based on the radar. And we really have a lack of reports down here too. So again, what we're going to watch for is that potential for damaging winds with that, maybe a quick spin up tornado and just some very heavy rain. The other storm has a tremendous amount of lightning going on with that. And that's the one that we've been watching. In fact, we've been doing our streaming on that one since about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So that's the one that we've been watching a lot closer for the potential for damaging winds and power outages due to lightning. And overall, that one produces a lot of lightning, very heavy rain, and the threat for flooding up there to the north. I'm going to go ahead and kind of reconnect here. I think I'll be able to reconnect on the... There we go. I got that going. So I'm going to get back up here. I'm going to check the Weather Service here again for any reports. Okay, here again, here's the basis behind the warning. Weather Service has been monitoring the rotation closely. It's been persistent enough, and they decided to put out the tornado warning. They have not received any reports of tornadoes from that. Now let me check my Facebook page as well. Again, we're streaming here. We're on YouTube as well. You can get additional information there. No, a lot of people are talking about, is it for Huntsville? No, this is not for Huntsville. This is it. The sirens may have sounded in parts of Huntsville because the original polygon was down here. Again, not sure what's going on with the coding on the warning, but it's not showing up here on our warning indicator, and I've got that turned on. So again, that's not showing up. But this looks very, very weak up here near Woodville and Gurley. We're getting closer to the radar, and I will tell you, if you're in New Hope, this is away from you now. So again, the tornado warning went out for the storm, for the rotation, just over New Hope, and then the rotation's kind of going away. So I don't think we have a tornado with this storm. Again, this is like overabundance of caution with this particular thunderstorm with this near Woodville and Aspel. But let me put the velocity back on here. Sometimes you get a better view when you kind of switch back and forth on these. Gotcha. So what we're going to watch, the biggest thunderstorm with the most lightning and the possibility of pea-sized hail is currently from Ardmore to the northwest side of Huntsville, producing a lot of lightning, probably wind gusts at 35, maybe 40 miles per hour. There is absolutely no lightning with the thunderstorm that we've got the tornado warning on. And the other storm, in fact, they did produce a little bit of lightning off and on over the last 30 minutes or so. The secondary storm, again, both of these storms here have been rotating. And I'm going to go ahead and circle these. The storm south of Gurley has shown rotation. The other one near Woodville, again, these, if we had a spin-up tornado, it would be an EF0, probably 60, 80 mile per hour kind of wind. That's the way the atmosphere is set up. Also want to watch this storm here, south of Section. In fact, I'll go to storm relative velocity on that, and we'll see what that looks like. Again, nothing overly impressive. There may be a rotating wall cloud with this storm. I would imagine there would be, since it is rotating, so you would see that, and there's a lot of water in the air, so you would see that with that particular storm. I'm going to go back over here to the most intense thunderstorm moving into Harvest, on the way into Hazel Green, and producing very heavy rain. And notice the lightning, most of the lightning is really on the back edge of this thunderstorm here in and around Harvest. So this is a classic case of at least wait 30 minutes before you go outdoors for that threat of lightning. And the lightning is really intense as you get east of Endeavor Elementary and even up towards Harvest Elementary on Old Railroad Bed. As you get north there, and East Limestone, things are clearing up, so things are looking better there. Overall, as we look at any of these thunderstorms down here, we've got this area near Geraldine. They're all kind of getting the same look that the storm that prompted the tornado warning northeast of New Hope now. They're all getting kind of that same look that those other ones had. So as we go to the shear rate product, there's just nothing showing up with that one. Again, this one keeps kind of going back and forth. So this is going to be just to the south of Woodville and Highway 72. This is going to be Buttermill Road and Mill Road. And right now, that area of circulation is over a bunch of trees. So again, if there's any damage going on, it's going to be tree damage. Again, if we've got a tornado, it's most likely EF0 type spin-up tornado with that. I'll go back to storm relative velocity. And it's still kind of hanging in there. And what we see is, I'm going to stop the loop. That way we can just kind of compare the data here as it comes in. So velocity, we've got some strong wind. So we've got, the storm's rotating, and it's rotating right here near Buttermill Road and Mill Road. And that's tracking to the east and a bit northeast. So let me go ahead and loop that so I can give you a better storm track here as we go through time. It's, again, a very ragged storm here. And that circulation is going to end up most likely between Aspel and Woodville. So in that area there. So I'll go ahead and zoom in. You can see it's not a very heavily populated area, but we do have subdivisions and things like that in here. But overall, there's the latest update coming in. It's not as aggressive. So it's actually just off to the west of that. So this is the area we're watching. And this is about, I'm going to guess, about 5 miles to the southwest. Actually, about maybe 3 miles to the south of the highway. Well, right there, about 3 miles south of, this is where you make the bend out of the Paint Rock Valley. You take that curve and you got the railroad tracks right next to Highway 72. This will be on your way, say, from Huntsville or Paint Rock or Woodville over to Scottsboro. And it's that area there. You're not going to see this because it's going to be really surrounded by rain, very heavy rain out there. as this moves off to the east and northeast. So be seeking shelter in these areas on the southeast side. So we got County Road 7. Let's see what else we've got out here. We've got Rustic Lane. I'm going to turn the data off just so we can see all these areas. So we've got, again, we have some of these communities that are in the path of this circulation. So we get on, look at that's Parnell Circle, County Road 6. This is Highway 72. I think this is County Road 6 right up there just to the north. So again, there are some areas here within the path of this developing potential tornado. Again, this has been kind of skipping as it's gone through. And the shear rate, I think, just dropped. Oh, there's the loop. I'll turn the loop off. So what we're looking is for consistency with this area rotation. And it just kind of comes and goes. And it's just completely disappeared here. So let's go back to the radar. Again, there's our storm. I think if you're right in the middle of Woodville, I think you're going to be fine. This is more on track to be about, I would say, probably 3 miles just due east of Woodville on this track as it moves over Highway 72. And I say as it moves over, we're just tracking some circulation. That's about it. It's a very small, this is almost, again, I don't think we've got a tornado here. I'm going to tell you that right now. We have a storm that's had a history of rotating, and no damage reported with this. We've actually had 2 of them. One's east of Gurley, right as you make the bend to go down into the Paint Rock Valley. So I'm going to spend just a little more time on what's going on to the west now. As we take a look out here just to the west of Meridianville, right over Harvest and Highway 53, very heavy rain there. I don't see any tornado threat with that storm. And the lightning's coming down just a bit. This is really running over an area that's had a lot of rain already today. So the biggest concern here, outside of the lightning, as you get northeast of Harvest, this is going to be towards Sparkman Middle School now, as you get in those areas, and up towards the Toyota plant, the engine plant up there, and of course the Facebook Digital, I believe they've got that big Facebook plant up there as you get north of the Toyota plant. The bypass, where they're building the bypass on the north side of Huntsville, that's pretty much where that is. Again, I'm going to see if they're going to let that tornado warning go, because the software did not pick that warning up. So I'm going to have to check the coding on it too. But nothing new from the Weather Service. They just canceled it. Tornado warning southwestern Jackson, southeast Madison counties is canceled. Okay, let me read the rest of this before I get you back to your regular scheduled program. Again, there's really no rotation there. Let's see. Tornado warning storm has broadened out quite a bit, now producing false signature side lobe contamination. Warnings canceled shortly. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of summarize what's been going on. I'll let you know coming up here in 25 minutes. We will have our newscast, but again, we've had no confirmation of a tornado with this storm, and the circulation just completely disappeared. In fact, there's really nothing left of this storm. So if you've been seeking shelter, you can get out of your shelter for that. Starting to see storms increasing, intensifying a bit from Albertville to Boaz. And also on the south side of Madison, we got some very heavy rain out towards the airport. Nothing severe with that. So just making sure we're not missing any other areas of rotation going on. Nothing really there, just heavy rain, and pretty much we're getting back to what we pretty much thought we would have for the rest of the day. We've had some social media reports of maybe a brief touchdown southwest of Athens earlier, would have been before 3 o'clock. We're checking into that, but have not had any official reports from that. So again, Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis, we've been tracking a tornado warning for you. We'll have the latest news and weather forecast coming up today at 4 o'clock.